Hi, my name is Will, and welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I'm talking to it's not really a new band. It's kind of an old band with a new coating of paint on it. It's called a band called Silcrow. How are you guys?
Hey man, very good. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, bro.
Before we get into the band itself, maybe we can just do the brief introductions. Yeah, off you go.
My name's Lorenzo. I sing for the band Silcrow.
And I'm Oscar. I play the guitar.
And without us, who is not here is Carl on the drums and Connor, who is our lovely little bass player.
Is his leg better? Would it heal by now, eh?
Well, yeah, he can walk. He's no longer in a wheelchair, so yeah, he's on the mend.
Good stuff. History seems a bit defunct. Like I usually ask bands, could you tell me the history of your band? But yeah, it's a little bit defunct in this case. But perhaps this might be the time to mention that you were a band called Close to the Bone, and now you aren't a band called Close to the Bone. At some point there was a name change, but other than that, I'm not really aware of what else, if anything, kind of changed. So perhaps you can enlighten me.
I don't know how much changed really, but we were Close to the Bone for a couple of years, like 3 or 4 years maybe, something like that. And doing gigs and releasing songs and having a good time. And then like the lockdown stuff happened, and it just kept happening and kept happening and kept happening. So there was this big like period of time where we weren't like jamming a lot, and we made a decision to continue on as a 4-piece band. We used to be a 5-piece, and then we decided, since we're going to be doing that, why don't we none of us really loved the name Close to the Bone.
Yeah, we settled. It was like the first thing we settled on.
It was the first like suggestion we had for a band name, and then we're like, okay, let's change the name.
Yeah.
We tried to change the name before, and it didn't work. Like we couldn't find anything, and then eventually Connor suggested the name Silcrow, and we all kind of liked it.
Seemed like the right time, I suppose, with like not playing gigs in a while too.
Did you actually carry any of the older material over?
We released 3 singles as Close to the Bone, and so we've kept that in our discography, and that's still on Spotify. It's just been transferred into an EP called Close to the Bone under the band name Silcrow. So it's it's all still there.
Yeah, I mean, you just sort of mentioned that you kind of changed the sound, but if you're bringing the songs from before, you're kind of maintaining the sound. So I guess what you mean is the music that you're going to release going forwards is going to change somehow? And if so, how is it going to change?
Well, we don't really play many of the older material live anymore either. We just thought it was a bit of a waste, like throwing out all of the old stuff, from Close to the Bone days on Spotify, I suppose.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's that big of a difference in our sound, really.
Yeah, it's not. It's a little bit. It's definitely different with
Some things are different, but I mean, we're still a hard rock, sort of heavy rock kind of band, definitely.
Yeah,
it's more of a sort of like an archive of what was, as opposed to sort of actually carrying it forward and sort of perpetuating.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. A little archive of what we did before, for sure.
Okay, cool. So you released a video for the track Keep the Silence. First off, I did like the track, and the video is extremely well filmed. For the briefest of seconds, I thought I was about to hear a cover of Hysteria by Def Leppard, but the following bar brought a different tail riff to the tune, which was also confusing in the opposite way. I did sort of give you my in-depth thoughts before I pressed record, and you were very civil and you took it well. I don't think my views are that harsh, but here they are anyway. Let's test them out.
Go for it.
I thought the first verse vocal line was a little bit vanilla, especially being so starkly exposed with only bass and drums to support it. However, for the second verse, you sort of chose like a different notes for the vocal line. And that worked way better, in my humble opinion. The chorus and everything else about the song was stellar. It was great. Being a guy who interviews bands, I sort of have to walk this kind of tightrope, this sort of razor's edge between being a cheerleader fanboy and sort of like speaking my mind. So hopefully I did reasonably well there. Let's briefly talk about the music video to start off with. Who put that together for you?
We worked with Kwasnik Pictures or Productions. I'm not really sure. So they filmed it. We had worked with them on our first music video for Sinkin', which you can find on YouTube. And Alex Hargraves was the director for that one. She was really great. We'd never done a video with a director before, so it was kind of it was definitely an interesting experience to be directed in that sort of setting, but I think it came out really well. So yeah.
I've never been directed in a music video. Usually it's me with a tripod and just trying to make it look as professional as possible. So how sort of stressful is it having like a director going, okay, look over here and we're going to move the camera around here? It must be extremely involved, especially looking at the end result. It's a very chaotic, very choreographed video. So there must have been a lot of work went into that.
I don't know if I mean Alex is so nice. She's so easy to work with. Like
it's pretty easy.
It wasn't stressful to work with her, but the whole situation was sort of stressful. Coming from finishing work and racing to the location and shooting until like the very last minute, and then like loading all the gear out. Like that was
because we were shooting to what, like 11:30 or something.
Yeah. And we had to be out at like 11, and we went overtime.
All just gotten back from work and like loaded in at 6.
Yeah.
Shot. So it was
That was probably the most stressful part about it. But yeah, it was great working with Alex. Yeah, it was different. She got us to do some things that we definitely wouldn't have thought of, and some things we weren't super into, like the idea of like, oh hey, can you lean over this camera thing with these crazy lights and like sing your part? And I'm like, what the hell what am I doing? But then it comes out looking mean. She's like, just trust me, like it's gonna be sick.
First time I had to trust like director.
Yeah.
Part 2 of that question is where did you actually record the song itself?
We did the drum tracks and the guitar tracks at the Lab Studio. In New York? No, not in New York. Is it Mount Eden, the Lab Studio?
Mount Eden, yep. Mount Eden Road.
Mount Eden Road, yeah, the classic spot. So that was cool. And then we were working with our producer Scott Seabright, and we did the vocals. And did you say bass there?
I don't think we did the bass there. No.
You think we did the bass at Lab Studio?
Can't remember.
We can't remember, but yeah, we finished the rest off at Scott's little.
No, it was at Lab. I'm sure it was at Lab. Little bits and pieces at Scott's, but the gist of it done at the Lab with Scott.
So between those two little places, we got it done.
With that single done, do you have a plan to release more stuff going forwards? Did you record more stuff, and what's the game plan with that?
Yeah. So we recorded 2 songs while we're there, right? It was 2. We have another song. It's ready to go. We just need to pick a date and figure that out. So there will be another single coming probably this year. Yeah, we don't want to give away too much. Much. We'll
not too much.
We'll wait for the just a sliver that there is a song coming that's been done at the same time as we did Keep the Silence. And gig in November in Auckland. And then we have loose plans for a short NZ tour at the beginning of 2023.
Last question, what does Silcrow mean? I wondered about that.
What does Silcrow? So to us, it's just a cool word. Like that's literally the only meaning to us. But it's actually the section sign. Like if you Google the word Silcrow, it comes up. You know those. If you might see it in some of our branding, it's like that double S thing, and it's basically means like to sign a paragraph in like a legal document or just in some sort of document. Yeah. It's like an overlapping 2 S's, and that's it's kind of like an exclamation point, like a piece of grammar. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yeah. Like there's a pilcrow. A pilcrow means something else, and then there's a silcrow, which we just thought sounded cool and looks cool. The little S looks quite cool as well.
All right, well, thanks for chatting with me tonight. Best luck with the gig in November and the potential tour next year, and the second release. Cool. Cheers.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having us, man. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers, Will.
And thanks for watching.